Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Missions Monday. We're back with Pastor Dennis White and we're kind of exploring today outreach, ministry, how to reach the lost, how to win the lost, um, methods, ways, mindsets, ideas.
Yes.
I think the area, Pastor Dennis, that we don't struggle with so much as a ministry is motivation.
Yeah.
But I do feel that there are ways and means that we can grow in terms of method, in terms of perception, in terms of strategy, if you can use that word,
Yeah.
application, ministry in general. There's ways that we grow. Like
Yes.
as I was saying to you off air, there's some denominations and organizations that still do outreach the way they did outreach 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Or sometimes what happens is this, you'll crystallize away. Like say this worked a certain way in a certain season at a certain time.
Yeah.
And because it worked, and the people are still here today, we're going to keep doing this because there's no other way that works. Because it's like I got one fishing pole. I'm catching fish with this pole. I'm going to live and die with this fishing pole. I'm not considering any other way to catch fish.
Yeah.
And if I'm not catching fish, it's not the pole's fault, right? Maybe the fish don't live here anymore. Or maybe, I could be a better fisherman with the pole that I have. But I think if you're not open to consider wisdom outside of your own experience, then how can you grow?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think ministry-wise, as leaders, particularly in outreach and reaching and winning the lost, we have to evolve.
Yeah.
You can look at Billy Graham's ministry over the years, how he evolved.
Yeah.
I went from radio to TV all the way to where Franklin Graham is today. He's completely far from where his father started.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's effective.
That's because, society has changed,
Right.
and just to kind of repeat, I mean, I think our motivation is great. And also another thing that we find with people that their earnestness is great.
Okay.
They work hard.
Zeal.
And there's zeal. But there is something that is needed more than just faithfulness, right? So Timothy Keller said, you can be a faithful gardener, but if you're not a good gardener, you don't know when to prune, you don't know when to, pinch, you don't know when to, reap your harvest. There's a lot of things that are missing. So as leaders, like a part of our job is, to get to know our community.
Okay.
Because each community is very different. And another part of our job is to really find the fish hooks, right? And there's more than one way to get people in.
Right.
We grew up, right? I grew up at least knocking on doors every single Saturday. I was born on my mom's hip, knocking on doors.
On the hip, at the door.
And I'm grateful for that because that's given me a great capacity to love people that are strange to me, But is that the only way to church plants? And part of this also has to do with our demographics and where in the world we live.
True.
This discussion could take very different directions based whether you're in Africa, here in the West, or if you're in Asia. Because some things that we're attempting to do here in the West, and I think generally our conversation today is going to be directed more towards the West, but there is a plethora of fish hooks that we can use to draw people in. And I'll say right now, leaders that you are ministering and you are working hard, it has nothing to do with your motivation, your earnestness, how hard you're working. It has nothing to do with if you're a good preacher or not. Sometimes it just has to do with the mode of transportation.
Okay. Speak more to that.
Yeah. So I'll just speak about our experience in Frederick.
Sure.
There are several things that are absolutes in our church, and one is street evangelism. And I think we're speaking into a community that believes in this greatly, and it does work even here in the West. I would say that there could be almost a timestamp on evangelism.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I did the hours one time. I meant to refresh my memory before I got up here, but when we were with the Plunketts, we had so there was 6 adults, full-time missions. Let's say that we went evangelizing, 3 times a week for 1 hour each. You do the math and you add that up. How many hours per week was man hours are we doing on evangelism? And then you multiply that, and growth really started happening at year 5.
Okay.
So you're doing all those man hours of evangelism. And I think an hour 3 times a week is small compared to what we were actually doing. And then it took 5 years for the church to start growing. So there's just like and we said kind of on the last show, like, we don't evangelize enough. We kind of say, hey, on Saturdays, we're going to go out in the streets. We're out there for 45 minutes. And the reason is because, we're co-vocational.
Sure.
I don't like the word bivocational because it says that your job is a hindrance to your real calling. Obviously, you are working and God has called you to work. So you're going to use that in co-laboring in your calling with God.
So co-vocational versus bivocational. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
a twitch there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little twist that I learned, but the reason is because we're dealing with a lot of leaders that are they can't afford to quit their job.
Oh, they work.
They're working, so you can use your workplace to actually affect your ministry.
Yep.
Either financially, but also your influence. You can minister the gospel there. But what I'm trying to say is, our if you can get out on the streets enough, a little bit more, it's going to make a measurable difference on your outreach.
What would you say is enough? Because the average Western, I'm going to say Greater Grace church, in most churches, I talked to a Baptist guy last month, same thing. They like an hour a week, somewhere, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's in a week, but it's usually 2 at the same time, or it's like that's the pretty much the standard of us going out doing that.
Yeah.
And the pushback on that is during the week. People are very busy, they're not available.
Yeah.
And Sunday service, so all you're left with is Saturday.
All you're left with is Saturday.
And then you say, I don't want to take all this
Saturday. Capacity.
Yeah, capacity.
So an hour is the magic number.
Well, actually, the magic number is 45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah.
My generation.
And that might include your coffee and donuts.
Oh, my gosh. We had coffee and donuts, and we gave the gospel to the cashier.
Yeah, then we went home.
Went out for 15 minutes. And that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And that's a cultural paradigm, and it's been around for a while.
Yep. Yeah.
To some extent, it has fruit.
Yep.
I would say, like you said, when you talk to the average American church planner, if he's co-vocational, he's gonna say, I can't give more than an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly if he's got a wife, he's got kids. Maybe he works a little bit on Saturday. He's working all week, so he's doing a little bit of stuff doing Saturday, do everything else.
Yes.
Saturday is family time.
Yep.
So, much as you were on the hip with mom, these guys, their children are not on the hip.
No, they're not.
They're not even involved.
Yeah. So I would say ministry needs to become a lifestyle, not just your profession.
Okay.
And that lifestyle needs to pervade in your family. That's the way it was with me growing up. It wasn't, family time. We had a lot of family time, by the way. My parents were very good taking us out. We went and did a lot of camping growing up, a lot of, beach trips to help living close to the beach. But there was a lot of influence from the family. But it wasn't my father, going out and doing his church thing while we sat at home and my mom watched us. It was the entire family went. And if we were breaking down on someone's front porch.
Beautiful. Nothing like a temper tantrum in front of a stranger.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's that mystical beauty of evangelism, and you're showing up and presenting the gospel, having this anointed time.
Yeah.
That might disappear very quickly if your kids are with you.
Sure.
Right?
All this, the theme music, the background, and then the angels above, and then somebody just kind of lost control of their bowels right there on somebody's porch.
Yep. But I mean, I'd push back. I would say that you need to have it as a lifestyle. You need to teach it in your church. That's a lifestyle. So yes, your Saturday is your organized time, but are you teaching your people that it can happen outside of that? It can happen at the grocery store. It can happen. Is there excitement about sharing the gospel? Are you teaching, your church to evangelize?
Great point.
So,
I think a lot of churches, even a small church of 5 people, we tend to teach our people to invite people to church.
Yeah.
We don't really teach. A lot of pastors don't teach the people to evangelize.
Yes. Yep.
They don't teach them the skill of it.
Yep.
Once in a while, they may mention the motive,
the
intention, but I think the methodology is skill, because we don't want to kind of legislate it. That's the pushback you get. I don't want to legislate it. I don't want to control it. I don't want to mandate it. Yet the Bible does, but I don't want to mandate it. I think, like you said, the challenge for us is to teach it. In missions, usually you have a team. So your
Yes.
team
Yeah.
has been, they're kind of like the team they're the evangelism team.
Yeah.
I would say more than any other area except for the service in the work of God, the team gives you this sense of corporateness in evangelism when you go out as a team evangelizing, which
Yeah.
is why you've been in church planting when you're by yourself. When you don't have a team and you evangelize, it feels very alone.
It feels alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's one of the few things you're doing, and you kind of feel like I'm outside, I'm in the world, and I'm by myself with the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, and it's like there's no team member.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
other things you could do in ministry where you might not feel that distance,
Yeah.
but there
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I've been there. I've been standing on a street corner in Johannesburg with a bunch of tracts in my hand, and nobody. I said, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a sea of people around you, and it's
Yeah.
just you and those tracks. It's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
is anybody listening to me? Kind of
Yeah.
a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's real. But you can do it alone too. And
okay,
this is also again one of my pushbacks is you don't have time. Do you have a lunch break, and what are you doing during your lunch break? Could you go out once in a while during your lunch break? So that's what
interesting.
we've been doing. Is this past Tuesday actually from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, I was out in Frederick at the park evangelizing. And actually, I have found other believers that want to join me during their lunch break to go evangelizing with me.
That brings up a thought. I'm going to run this past you. A good friend of mine, he's a Baptist pastor. You know what he does? He advertises evangelism.
Yeah,
He said, "How would you like to go? Are you a believer?
yeah,
How would you like to go out and learn how to share your faith?"
yeah,
So he put that in a kind of a community kind of bulletin
yeah,
board. If you're a believer, call me. And he
yeah,
had people from different churches
yep,
call him and want to go with him
yeah,
because he said, "I'm by myself. Why don't I invite up?" And it was amazing. I said, "That's pretty bold."
yeah. Well, and two, I mean, the issue of people not evangelizing in church is not like it is across the board. Every church is having the same
Sure.
problem. I was talking to another church plant that's happening in Frederick, and a lady who's in charge of the evangelism team, she can't get anyone to join the team.
Sure.
And it's just
It's your
it's
job.
not popular.
But number one, don't forget too, the denominational bent is those people are gifted for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Doctrinally, they'll say the ones who are doing it are the ones who are gifted for it. They don't teach
yeah,
it as a corporate responsibility, but they teach it as more as the ministry of the evangelist.
yes, yep,
So
yep.
2 Timothy 4:5. So
You got to teach it to everyone. It's everyone's calling, though. It really is to some form,
agreed.
which
But
means the form sometimes it has to change. Like it
okay.
doesn't have to be me always handing out flyers on the street. It doesn't have to be me knocking on doors, because God has designed someone else over here
Mhm.
with a different personality, different set of gifts, and this will it is scary. So we tell this person, don't be scared.
Mhm.
You can do this.
Right.
But on the other side, we're also saying, well, what are your gifts and what fish hook could God give you? Right?
Okay. So you're saying in the call to evangelism, it's gift influenced.
Yes, it can
Okay.
be very much that
So
way.
which speaks number one, well, two questions I have. First question is in outreach, in my mission, am I going where they are?
Right.
Ezekiel 3, am I sitting where they sit?
Yeah.
And that's a community observation.
Yeah.
Then number two, are there layers in my ministry? Which is a great question. I mean,
Yeah. I
most
love that word layers. Yeah, there has to be layers in my
because
ministry.
otherwise it's like this. I preach on Sunday, midweek service. I do outreach for an hour on Saturday. That's church.
Yep.
And
And
that's
that's all we can handle. That's all we're going to
yeah, that's all
do.
we're doing the best we can.
Yep.
These are the mainstays. I keep the mainstays, but about some after stays.
Yep.
Once again, like this is where the layers comes in. Okay,
Yeah.
and also, at some extent, this is where the I want to say you don't get stale when you have layers.
No, you don't.
No, because you're like, okay, we're doing a book table at a community fair. Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, there's a festival. We're going to have a concert and you get creative, you get
Yeah.
variety, you get layers. Then you're reaching people in the community and beyond on different levels and different ways, and then the body will get involved just for the variety.
Yeah.
I mean, if everything that we do as a church, variety wise,
Yeah. Yeah.
inside of that is for the cause of the gospel,
Yeah.
you're going to get greater participation. You might even start drawing guys that are not part of the ministry into the ministry through your variety.
Yeah. I mean, this is interesting too. I mean, how much creativity do we need? I was reading a book saying that, 5% of pastors are actually creative, meaning inventing something and running with it. 10% are adaptive,
Okay.
meaning that they have a form and they adapt it to their contexts. And the
Okay.
80% of pastors are just taking a form
Hmm.
and just kind of redoing it. That means 80% of leaders do not have the ability to adapt to their culture
Hmm.
or to be creative.
Hmm.
So this is like twofold. One is like it could be shame, right? Let's be more creative, let's be more adaptive. But
Yeah.
on the other side, it could be that's not how I'm wired. And I'm speaking for my city in Frederick. There is so much that the city does.
Hmm.
I don't have to create an event. I can participate in an
Okay.
event that the community
Now
has.
that's on the table, particularly in first world churches in the West.
Yes.
Metropolitan areas are event oriented.
Yeah.
The city hall runs from that. The
Yeah.
town has the event, they're income generators. So they want
Yeah.
to have as many events as
Yep.
possible because they want to generate income, bring in shoppers, bring in taxpayers.
Yeah.
So they're oriented.
Yep.
Plugging it. So that's on the table for us. And what I find is that most of the time, a lot of churches are not positioned for that, or they don't consider that.
Yeah. I would say that mainly they haven't considered it.
Okay.
You can position yourself into doing it based on your ability,
Okay.
right? It could be as simple as, hey, in Frederick, there's a Frederick in the Streets in September. Every year that we've been in Frederick, we've had a table there.
Okay.
And it can be as simple as just having the farmers' beads and a few church flyers.
Give me some layers to the ministry in Frederick. Just simply talking on the word layers. Okay, you do door-to-door evangelism, you do street evangelism. That's two.
Yeah.
Give me some more layers.
Well, street evangelism, door to door, can be door knocking, but it also can be if I get out of work early, I will, and I know people aren't home. I'm just going to run through the neighborhood and drop flyers.
Okay.
So just hitting the
Now, when
doors,
you
not
drop a
knocking,
flyer,
just hitting
is it a package or is it just a door hanger?
door hanger with
Okay.
a rubber band. Yep.
Okay.
Find the cheapest place you can get them printed.
Has that yielded with the door hanger? Has that yielded anything?
Yes, it has. Yeah, interesting enough. Yeah.
Well, that's the question, because
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
just the pastor, you're the chief CFO, you're the chief
Yeah.
financial officer.
Well, I mean,
You're asking the
we're
question.
talking about all these layers. I
Right.
mean, if there was the answer to have your church grow,
Yeah.
everyone would be doing it.
Agreed.
The answer is obedience to the call.
Okay.
And if you have layers, the reason why we have layers is because, I mean, this is kind of like a marketing philosophy. Someone needs to see actually what's happening 7 times before it registers in their mind.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So if you're creating layers, and actually what we're presently doing right now in Frederick is that we're creating these layers and they're all happening back to back, back to back. So that way it's like they're going to get hit once, they're going to hit again, and then they're going to get hit again, and then get hit again.
Recency. Yeah.
So
Recency connection.
creating these layers. So I mean, door knocking is big. Street evangelism. This happens every week. Community-based needs. Find out your demographics, where you're serving, and what their needs are.
Give me an example.
So what we're doing here in August is we're doing a backpack drive. We get backpacks. We've had 50 donated to us. We're getting stuff to fill those backpacks full of school supplies. And it's going to be for the needy in our community to come to our church building, not for service, but to get a free backpack.
Okay.
But it's not just getting something for free and walking out. They're going to, they come to a table, we get their names, and we pray for them. Wonderful. By name. Next table, they get the beads. They're going to hear the gospel. They don't have to receive the gospel, but they're going to receive the gospel. If they don't want to go to those 2 tables because we're infringing on their rights, that's okay. They don't have to go to those tables. The door is right there. They're not going to get a backpack. We are exclusively, right? We are a church, and we have a destination that we want people to be introduced to the gospel.
Right.
And if that's not happening, then they get the backpack, and then we have their names and information so we can follow up with them. So we're meeting the needs. We are drawing them into our actual building so that they become familiar with that. Now, this is all theoretical. It's the first time we've done this, right?
But so we've been planning this out.
But I mean, I have a pastor friend down in Clinton, Maryland, and he does this, and they're popular for it, and they do add people to their church. And this year they're handing out 600 backpacks.
Wow.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I mean, there's a little bit to be said, meeting people's material needs. Not saying handing out money, but just knowing your community, what are the needs of the community? Can we meet some of these needs? Because through these needs, Christ can meet their spiritual needs.
Sure.
If we ignore those needs, we're actually becoming a little bit Gnostic, right? Saying that God only cares about your soul and nothing else. So let's use that as a fishhook, you know? So that's what we're attempting to do in our church. I do know other churches that have done something similar, and the gospel does get preached.
Most of the time, you find churches either, it's John 13, they either rarely do it,
Yeah.
or it's all they do.
Yep.
I mean, I know guys, everything they do every month is sort of community-based outreach,
Yeah,
giving,
food drive, diaper drives.
yeah, it's just whatever. It's always, and that's their outreach. They don't do any soul winning, they don't do any doing really, and not a lot of gospel in the giveaway.
Well, sometimes almost no gospel. There's a flyer in the bag they give, flyer in the bag of food with a gospel on it, and that's it.
Yeah, wow. If you happen to find it and you're not wiping your mouth with the flyer, then yes, you found the gospel. Yes. Okay. But like case in point, to piggyback your thought, we're doing in Owens Mills a prayer station.
Yep. That's a great layer.
I got that from YWAM.
Yeah.
We did July 30 days in Richmond on July 31, 3 or 4 years ago, and we co-labored with YWAM, and they have an amazing software program that somebody in YWAM designed that you can take an area of the city and track every door, and then you can actually account for who got a Bible, was anybody home. You can track all of that, and
really?
It's a data. It's a huge.
I don't need a clipboard anymore.
No, you kidding me? You can train your team to actually update the database so that, okay, we were here last week. We covered these 16 doors, these 8, nobody answered. So then they go back and hit the 8. They're really good. Anyway, we were doing it, and then we had an event.
That's amazing.
It's proprietary.
Oh, it is.
I tried to get it out, but they said it's just for them. I had the app on my phone, but it was time sensitive. So once we started working with them, it didn't work. But it was amazing.
Right. Hey, any design app, web designers is there and listening? We got a project for you.
It's a huge. The way it's designed, it actually was designed globally.
Okay.
So like they had a YWAM went to part of Nepal, a village in Nepal, and they tracked every hut.
Oh my gosh.
With the software, satellite imagery, they trapped, and then they were able to count. They could able to figure out, okay, we with this many guys got the gospel, this many guys got a Bible, this many guys will answer it. And they just tracked it. So they did this in the city of Richmond, in the area where we were at, and they got this whole street. Now, we went door knocking after they did that. We got a few salvations. We had one guy join the church in Richmond. But anyway, the point I'm making is they also had, when we did an evangelical event, they had a prayer station. They had 2 of them.
Okay.
I said, what is prayer station? So for basically $500, you get a vinyl placard that's about 3 feet long and wide. It's red. It kind of stands up. You assemble it. With an air flyer as well. Put a table right there, put a chair right there, put prayer station, and just pray with people.
Yeah.
So at Owens Mills, we got one of those. It costs about $500. And now twice a week, we go to parking lots of supermarkets, medical clinics, just set up right there between 2 cars, drop the whole prayer station, sit there for an hour, hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours, and just pray with people.
Yeah.
And literally, we've gotten people in our church from the prayer station.
I love it.
You pray with them, because who's going to say no to prayer?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's one of those guys.
Non-religious people will accept prayer when they're in need.
Yeah, they just walk past. My sister just passed away. One guy said, I was driving to the parking lot. I lost my brother. I didn't know what to do. And I saw a prayer station. I just pulled over, got out, and just prayed. Some guys, they honk at you.
Yeah.
It's a great layer.
Yeah.
It's simple. Maybe you're not so confrontational.
Yeah.
But it's consistent, and it's you're the church that prays for people. Things like that.
Yeah.
You get that.
Do you
saturation.
have your church logo on there?
Yes.
Or anything?
We have
like an apron on your
we don't
table?
we don't have that. That's a good idea. What we have is signage, tracks, and our people, but I don't have like the church stuff so much.
Yeah.
Kind of only because the places that we go, we're not always we haven't permitted them. So
are you asking, do you set up like on the sidewalk in front of the store?
I set up in places that are in the corners.
Yeah.
I don't stay so close to their actual buildings because they don't want you there. But they know we're there, and they trust what we're doing, and we're not soliciting money, so they kind of leave us alone.
Yeah.
So we've been doing prayer station now for literally 2 years.
Okay.
So it's been very, very frequent.
Yeah.
This is one of those things with layers. Like, okay, how many layers of ministry do I have in the community that God has called me to?
Yeah.
And can I get? Can it be more than just the fishing rod of door knocking?
Yeah.
I mean, being creative it's not either or.
Yeah.
It can't be either or. I'm this way.
And.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be I'm doing the book table. It's all we do. But because that's what you find. It's in John
Yeah.
13. It's like we're either doing it, we're going heavy.
Well,
in.
it's easy. I mean, again, I want to speak to those that are just kind of, they don't have a big team.
Right.
They don't have a lot of time. So, like, what are you going to do? Well, you could pick like one Saturday a month that you're going to do the prayer station, or you're going to do,
even Sundays after church, for instance.
Sundays after church. Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, Sunday after church, guys, is a great time to get your people to go out on the streets.
That's what
So I have guys asking me, can we go after church evangelizing?
Pastor James Bryson, right now in Edgewood, he takes a team out on Sundays after service.
Yeah.
I did it myself in Zambia. Because a lot of the ladies were not free during the week or Saturday, so they said, Pastor, we're only free on Sundays after service.
Yeah.
So let's go soul winning for an hour. So me and about 8 or 10 older women just went and knocked on doors right after service.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how many people are home on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
Sunday morning. I was shocked.
So we did it once actually before church, because our service is in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we were knocking on doors that people should have been at church, but they weren't. Because normally you're at church at around 11. So I'm knocking on their door at 11, 12, 12:30.
They say,
we know you don't have a church, so right come on over. And you know what? Actually, it was very enjoyable.
Sure.
Pastor Gary Grinwald always says to, like, take your team and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because evangelism's hard. A prayer station is maybe not as hard because people are more open to prayer.
Yep.
But it's still hard. You're setting up shop somewhere where you don't have a permit. Maybe you could get in trouble. You're trusting God to walk with you through this. And but if you're having a fun and edifying each other, it's going to be amazing. Yeah. But I mean, also in this whole entire world, one of the layers, there is a layer nowadays that's a little bit more passive.
Okay.
And that is using technology that we have.
Okay.
In our church, we have seen a lot of people come through our church just through Google reviews, Google and Instagram.
Yes. In your community, if your location should be, there's some software you can use to promote when someone Googles church in your area, do you come up?
Yeah.
And if you come up, where do you come up?
Yeah. Where on the list are you?
Yeah. The guy that does our AV, he jumped us. So now if you Google Owings Mills, we're one of the top 3 searches to get us. I bet people say, I just saw you online. I just came.
When they type in church or type in your name?
I type in church.
Okay.
Like I'm looking for a church.
That's hard to get done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it's Owings Mills. So there's not like a plethora of churches in Owings Mills. But it's saying an area where you don't have a lot of churches, you can fight and get up to that toggle.
Yeah.
And because where do people live? They live online. The new mission field is digital.
Yep.
They're living online, they're buying online, they're shopping online, they're marrying online, they're traveling, they're finding spouses online, they're getting divorced online, they get ordained online. It's all online. They're living online. Yeah, they're living digital. So you can't be a church that doesn't have a life online, because that's where your congregation lives.
Well, I think also too, people do not trust the day and age that we live in now.
Sure.
People don't trust anything, so they're looking you up online. Period. And if they show up, they're bad reviews. They can't find you. They misspelled it, so they can't find you. And they show up, and your website is kind of mediocre / trashy. All these things really do affect. And on one sense, it doesn't have to be like amazing, but it has to be clean.
Yeah.
It has to be accessible. We always tell people, look up what we believe online. It matters what we believe, and you should look us up, and you should see what we believe before you come to our church. And we challenge people.
Most people should.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they're searching you, they're coming. It's rare. Yeah. In other words, if you're gonna make me check you out, I'm gonna unless I see something that shocks them, I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
But just to get you to the website, most folks, because we link people to death.
Yeah.
Arguments are based on links now. Okay, you got 4 links, I've got 15 links. Let's just go to war with links. So to motivate me to actually click on a link now, is as hard as me receiving junk mail. So I don't want that.
Yep.
So I do think as a church, I know for us in Owings Mills, even overseas, to think about and have the conversation about um, digital presence is important when you're reaching the lost.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a part again that it might not bring someone, but if it doesn't exist, you're going to be in trouble. So like we have Instagram, and it's pretty healthy. Also, just the day and age we're also living in now is like Gen Z, Gen A. Like these people are interested in Gen A. They're a little young, but but Gen Z and whatnot. I mean, they're interested in being genuine.
Okay.
So when they're looking on Instagram, like my generation was all about the filters, how you can filter and look better. Now with AI coming out, it's all about AI. But actually, people are looking for like that genuine attitude. They're looking for what's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take the filters off, throw it away. Don't use AI. Just kind of be real. And if it looks a little hokey on one sense, it's okay as long as it's real.
Yeah.
Because that they want to know that they're going to come to a church, for one, where their name is known, and that the people are going to be real with them. And if that's not happening, they can see through those churches that have the programs and stuff. And and honestly, for us as smaller churches, we don't want to advertise ourselves that way, because when they come, they're going to be so disappointed.
Sure.
Yeah, we should be advertising who we really are.
Yep. Authenticity. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been good. There's a lot of meat
Yeah.
left on the bone here. It's been great talking with Pastor White, talking just church planning in general. Even though he's American based, I love his mind about church planning and the next period of growth for the church, the next paradigm of how to win the lost. And there's some great ideas that hopefully helped you today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us again on Missions Money. We will be back, and Pastor Dennis will be back another time. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
So now we'll talk yourself into a third program.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.